We're not getting any extra shrines, so it's pretty rare, but as you can see, we're getting results instantly. So Divine Orb on the ground. Yeah, that's how it works. In Path of Exile 2 the Third Edict, when you reach endgame and find maps with this icon, which means corruption, you will clear these maps and get Atlas passive skill points. Yeah, there's another massive passive skill tree. And how you allocate these points will determine how much currency you will get each hour. It will affect your drops massively, and also you may target farm bunch of drops. So, well, it's better not to screw up this thing, therefore I got 3 setups for you, which I'm using, and these great setups for beginners or for those of you who want to get as much currency as possible. First of all, we will set up Atlas, and then we will jump on few maps so I explain how to farm with different setups. Let's start with pretty basic one, and this will be extremely beginner friendly setup, when you're just starting out in the end game. We will jump forward a little bit, but the main and most important node you want to look for is unstable energies, and basically you're looking to increase effects of your waystones. Waystones is what you use to open maps, and they determine how hard map will be, but also how much loot you will get, how much monsters you will get on the maps, and so on and so on. So it's like super important. But whenever you're just starting out, you want to have more waystones on your maps, so you want to accumulate them. And basically every atlas should start like this, increasing quantity of waystones and also increasing quantity of waystones over here. So there's like loads of nodes which will give you more quantity of waystones. But technically this one is all you need. First 5 points should be allocated like this. There's like step 1 setup for more waystones. Now you will start dropping waystones. I like to go into local knowledge, so we will get more basic currency on water biome maps, and you want to play as much as swamp and water biome maps if you're looking for currency. You want to ignore mountain biome maps, because there will be lots of gold and you don't need gold, and if you have gold in your maps, it will take a place of your currency and other items, so that's not what you want. And that's again nice starting point, but also this is nice starting point, increasing quantity of precursor tablets found on your maps, as well as increasing effect of these tablets on your map. So that's like our initial setup of step 2. Precursor tablets will be used on towers. You basically complete tower if you complete it with highest tier waystone possible, with 0 attempts, basically with 1 attempt, you will be able to drop them over here. So if you don't know, they look like this, and they will have different bonuses. They can give you 1 more level to your zone you're playing, or they can add content to your maps, like 17 maps in a range will contain breaches, some maps will contain bosses. You can go with same for Delirium, for Ritual, basically any content you're playing. And you always should look for these irradiated maps. You want to have irradiated maps on your way, because normal waystones of tier 15 will give you area level 79, and the best loot drops on area level 80 at least. 81 is better of course, but it's hard to make waystones tier 16. There's another reason for these tablets. Even if you're not juicing your maps right now, but you're still dropping tablets, they kinda not affected by rarity at all. So you get them, you drop basic orb of transmutation and augmentation on top, and you check what you get. For example, recently I got this one, and it's 17 maps with rituals in a range, and most importantly increased quantity of items found in your maps. Guess what? Just this tablet alone costs 1 divine orb right now, and it can be sold super fast. Not for 1 divine, but maybe for like 150 exiles pretty easily. So there's different mods, like again quantity that will sell for a nice chunk of exalted orbs at least. And just this setup at the start will give you a nice amount of starting currency. Then, what also gives you currency? You may think it's a rarity, but a rarity got a little bit nerfed. You don't need a lot of rarity actually, and you can have loads of rarity just by playing harder maps. So, for example, just make Waystone with full modifiers and you will have item rarity 40, and it's like not a big number. There's actually pretty crazy Waystones I got, like some of them will have rarity to 100, and that's more than enough. After 100 it's diminishing returns. I played with 0 rarity for full season. Right now I'm having fun and testing high rarity, but honestly, like just a little bit of rarity on your gear and rarity in your Waystones is more than enough to drop anything. I dropped Headhunter, This talisman that gives attack speed to gloves, it goes for like 10 divine orbs or so. So what actually gives you better chances for more loot is quantity, yeah, and quantity will be located over here. You will go through rarity, you will get more rarity of waystones, and then you will get a little bit of quantity. Also, when you're just starting out, waystones will give you a chance to be a higher tier, but you don't need it if you're already playing tier 15, so increasing effect of explicit modifiers is what you're looking for. And same goes over here, so explicit modifiers for waystones over here, you don't need a rarity, again, it's like not super important, but what is important is juicing. So right now you want to actually juice your maps, you want to drop as much precursor tablets as possible in your towers, you want to overlap them and play overlapped maps. So to increase effects of these precursor tablets, we will go over here. And that's basically it. So that's our beginner setup for Atlas. Let's allocate our final points, and our final points will go over here. So we're starting to juice maps, our maps becoming more and more cooler. We don't need these waystones, so we actually can remove them and have something like this on top. And we will start investing in more monsters, because monsters is where you get your loot from. There's 2 monster nodes over here. First monster part will be over here with magic monsters and pack size, and here is rare monsters. Rare monsters is way cooler, and we will go for them, of course. But we will go through the bottom part. Let me explain why. So we're getting more rare monsters, we're getting pack size, so packs of monsters will be with more monsters, and also we will have 1 rare monster duplicated. This means when we find this monster, there will be a copy of him right nearby, so you don't need to waste time looking for the copy, and basically you're getting always 1 more rare monster per map, so you're getting more chances to get better loot. Now, why are we going through rare monsters? Because that's where the power comes from, and that's why you don't need like a lot of rarity. Actually, you will invest your points over here into shrines, and you want to go into shrine type sector, and you want to get seeking shrines. Seeking shrines will give you a rarity. So when you find a shrine, which will be seeking shrine in like a lot of cases, it's called Covetous Shrine or something like this, you will have like 200 plus rarity, and you just run maps and you will get lots of loot just like that. But we're not stopping over here, we're actually going into this direction to get this node over here. Our shrines will have chance to give us 2 effects at once, and that's why this setup is so powerful. So first of all, we got enough waystones, then we got enough precursor tablets, we start milking maps, we adding our rare monsters, and then we adding shrines. Shrines will give you insane amount of power, so you just go, you collect your shrines, and you will start output damage of guys with builds for like 10 meters. It's just insanely OP. We got 1 last point, and 1 last point will go over here, so for more chances to contain shrines. That's basically our starting setup. This setup, however, kinda forces you to milk towers. But if you don't want right now to actually like milk towers, for example, like me over here, I got like 4 towers. I call this Grand Project because I injected the Grand Project over here so I can replay all of them. And basically like this maps is uber juiced. Just look at the amount of bonuses. We are rolling like million of rituals, getting lots of drops, but you don't need to do it right from the get-go. Probably right from the get-go you want to just go as far as possible, find some citadels, get some fragments, defeat Arbiter of Ash, basically beat some content. In this case, if you don't like this tower setup thing, basically you unallocate all points from this place, and instead you allocate them into strong boxes. And in this strong box type sector, you want to get a researcher strong box, then definitely get high value thefts, and you can even invest into item rarity. And finish with your maps have 100% increased chance to contain strong boxes. So this is like super easy beginner friendly setup, and now I will show you how it looks like in a game. By the way, you also will fight bosses, and bosses will give you points for Atlas too. And in boss category you want to go into quantity of items dropped by my bosses first, then of course you go into middle for increased quantity of waystones. You will have no problems with waystones at this point, and then you can add extra content. So if you get more points, that's basically where you start accumulating extra stuff. And with our Atlas setup, with this beginner setup, we want to go into strong boxes and into shrines. Basically mob bosses, areas with mob bosses will contain additional strong box and additional shrine. That's a big deal. We finishing always with +1 level, so we don't need to irradiate these areas. I guess I will showcase in basic waystones, so we get some sort of baseline for this. So here's pretty basic map with map boss. Now take a look. We start with 84 damage on our tooltip. 84k damage, of course. And that's basically where it all begins. So you see there's a bunch of rare monsters. It's skulls on the map, but this one right over here on the me is duplicated. So that's one additional rare monster, which is pretty good. Now we will finish this delirium guys. It doesn't matter too much. And we basically will start finishing guys all over the place. We got first exalted orb, and that's look. We're fighting green guys right now. So these green guys are getting from the ground, and they're pretty deadly. But here we are, meteoric shrine. I will take this meteoric shrine and pow. If I'm lucky, I will get actually like 2 bonuses at once. Right now I got only 1 bonus, but even this bonus raises my DPS by like 3 times. So right now it's a lot easier to finish off these green guys, basically to destroy all of them. 1 more exalted orb, and that's again quantity of items. Just on Atlas, by the way, this map does not have like quantity, and this tablet does not have quantity. It's like bad area of Atlas actually. And we got bonus from green guys, abyssal trove, so there could be like some stuff over here, nothing useful. I got pretty strict loot filter, by the way, so don't worry if you don't see lots of items. There's actually like insane amount of them. I'm just ignoring most of them, but I want to find strong box. I want to show you a strong box. Strong box is what we are looking for. Let's turn off this delirium. So with this setup, you definitely want to open chests, corpses, and stuff like that. You may find some like interesting stuff in them. And here's the strong box. So you'll find most strong boxes white, sometimes they will be blue or yellow already, but you want to actually inject at least a regal orb in them. So you want to add augmentation and regal, or the best case scenario is to add alchemy orb right from the get-go into strong boxes like this. So basic strong box, you're not interested in them too much, you're still opening, there will be a bunch of monsters around, you will easily defeat them when you're affected by the shrine especially, and then strong box will give you loot. So that's how it works. So we're getting loot, but we're not interested too much in this exact strong box. We're looking for researcher strong box. That's what we set up our Atlas for. Right now 1 more shrine, as you can see, so our buff weared off. And here's the deal. First of all, we're getting more effects from shrines. They will last longer. For me, with my passive skill tree, they last for 2 minutes and a little bit more. And we got replenishing shrines that will regenerate life and mana. We're basically almost unkillable, but also acceleration shrines. So we took 1 shrine, got effect of 2 shrines. Just like that, we actually can have like effect of 4 shrines. Look, freezing shrine, pow, it's just freeze. Okay, this works too. But anyway, right now my DPS goes up to millions. So we are going into million range, and that's not because of insanely good build. Build, by the way, is overpowered too, but it's mostly because of this Atlas setup. Acceleration shrine once again, and now we're definitely going into millions. Damage is just insane, and everyone is being destroyed. So basically we want to play irradiated boss maps, so we found a boss. Let's actually delete this lady. Another cool part with shrines, it's a lot easier to delete bosses. My Chronomancer Monk can just stop the time and destroy her in few hits. We don't care like about skills, but I can just one-shot her if I wish. Now let's take a loot. Exalted Torp, Regal Orb, Waystone, that's good. And look, quantity of items from bosses. She dropped loads of stuff. But anyway, again, we're looking for strong boxes. We'll clear a bridge while we're doing so. And I see a strong box. I hope it's Researcher. Again, it's not 100% chance that you will get Researcher, but it's a lot higher chance to get Researcher strong box. And we got basic one on this map. So basic one just drop alchemy, and that's it. And you will see there's actually bonuses on strong box that tells you there will be extra quantity, quality, like rarity of items. And again, we're looking for quantity, and rarity is also great. This way you're just clearing monsters around, and you will get like large amount of cool items with any build with 0 like extra investment into any other stuff. Okay, no Researcher strong box here, but I found another one on next map. So we get a Researcher strong box, and that's the only strong box that we will want to milk fully. So we're playing Orb of Alchemy, or just upgrading it with Regal Orb, and we're looking for quantity and rarity of items. Honestly, if you got quantity right from the get-go, like I got over here, you can just activate it. You don't need to invest exalts from the start, but I really like to drop more exalted orbs, and this one will contain a rune, Gene Barrier, which is pretty cool, but we're looking for quantity and rarity at the same time most of the time. So we got 6 bonuses, and again, with our Atlas we got chance to open it twice. Let's see. Yes, yes, we got this. Probably we will have ability to open it once again. Basically, I'm clearing monsters right now, and we will see drops. So strong boxes like this can drop you divine orbs, and with extra quantity, we actually can drop like 2 of them at the same time. I did it like a few times already. As you can see, there's loads of pretty like useless stuff, but most importantly, there's Orb of Augmentation, Transmutation, Exalted, and Orb of Annulment. So Orb of Annulment is pretty good currency, and this currency right now goes for 143 Exalted Orbs, which is half of Divine, all around it. So we just got half of Divine, basically doing nothing, and that's how you farm currency pretty easily with low power characters. So that's like best setup for beginners without any milking. You don't need like precursor tablets, you just run around the maps, and it completely doesn't matter what maps you're playing as long as they are irradiated at least. So this again drops like insane amount of cool currency. Armor strong box is not very like good, so we will just open it. Sometimes it drops cool stuff, sometimes not, most of the time not. Okie dokie, so here's a boss. Sorry boss, I will stop the time, and now you're frozen and you're out. Goodbye. See you later, alligator. Okay, now you think you got enough power to actually chase better and cooler items. So first thing that you probably will like to change in your game is strong boxes. Yeah, they are cool, you can get like a little bit of currency, but you don't want to rely on these drops. And of course you want to remove shrines. You can still have this seeking shrine if you like, if you think this rarity actually benefits you. But that's where we're looking right now. So we're looking on this node, explicit modifiers on your waystones, and we're looking to go up. This setup will be for guys to get some juicy stuff, and mostly from juicing precursor towers. So we're going on top and we're getting pack size and these unstable energies to increase power of our waystones. Basically we will have a little bit harder maps, but also a lot better drops. And we will have a little bit of rogue exiles over here. Going through the top part instead of bottom will give you less waystones. But again, I kinda assume you already have enough waystones from previous step, so previous setup for beginners. You should already have like enough waystones, you should already have full boss tree leveled up. Now you're going into juicing, so having more chances for rogue exiles is actually great. I tried to set up my atlas fully for rogue exiles, it works, and basically you can farm for Heart of the Well, but it's super tricky farm. These diamonds sells for 1 divine when they identified and they are like okay-ish. Maybe they're not selling like too much, but again, it's like few divines minimum. Unrevealed diamonds go for like 13 divine orbs, and as you can see, there's not a lot of them. Because you can roll them so good that they can be easily sold for 25 or even more divine orbs. As you can see, there's like more than 6,000 of these orbs right now for more than 25 divines. But again, it's hard to look for one, it's hard to get one, and if you really want to hunt for them, you can just invest fully in rogue exiles over here, fully in explicit modifiers over here, explicit modifiers based on your precursor tablets, and then you're looking for tablets with rogue exiles. They will look like this. You can buy them on market just for 1 exalted orb, looking for a chance to contain rogue exile, but also you will need these maps to run this stuff on, and you're looking for tier 15 maps. They go from 1 divine, so yeah, you should invest 1 divine to run this map, or you should be extremely lucky with desecration attempt yourself and get these additional pits. So this waystone will convert any map to basically map with green guys like this, overrun by Abyssal, and it gives you just better chance to find rogue exile near this Abyssal area, and you will get this diamond. Still, it's super weird strategy, and I like more stable ones, therefore I will show you like more stable one. Again, we're going through the top just to get like slight chance to encounter these rogue exiles. You will encounter them, and then you will be able to like get this diamond, but it's super rare, so we don't care. We're going to the left and right side, we're getting this effect of precursor tablets over here, so we're increasing our juicing. Now, this setup over here is basically like super basic juicing setup. For this setup, I recommend running gear with some rarity, or again just running these seeking shrines. They pop up from time to time and you're getting those effects. As extra, of course, we never forget these explicit modifiers over here and over here. Quantity over here is super important. But if you don't care about rarity, if you don't believe in it, you can set up it a little bit differently, and you can invest over here in monster packs and explicit modifiers over here, and this corrupted waystones will be corrupted additional time. Then you will be able to get more explicit modifiers over over here or just invest, then you will be able to get a little bit more of extra explicit modifiers bonus for these stones over here and invest, for example, in pack size and increased magic monsters, because they also dropping nice stuff. So that's my tier 2 juicing setup. So that's fully juiced setup that you want to use on your mostly juiced maps. And this map should be corrupted, so we will corrupt a bunch of these stones. They will be corrupted additional time. I will run it on mostly the same map. Sadly, I forgot to read map name and we are playing on the Sun Temple. I hate this map, but anyway, look what we got here. We got like insane amount of extra like bonuses. They are more powerful. I guess we got corrupted with stone 2 times, so therefore there will be like some weird modifiers or some very overpowered ones. Or we will trash the modifiers, but basically maps will look like this. We're not getting any extra shrines, so it's pretty rare, but as you can see, we're getting results instantly. So divine orb on the ground, yeah, that's how it works. Problem, I forgot to set up map boss difficulty, but basically when you're setting up this map boss difficulty, you want to get the content you're looking for. For example, you're looking for essences, maybe for Asmiri spirits, and also you want to invest into rarity and of course into irradiation. So it's hard to show you exactly what this setup doing for you, but again, most important stuff is just better loot from monsters, because when you're corrupting Waystone like few times, when you get loads of modifiers on your maps, mobs will become more and more powerful, and every like little empowerment of monsters you're facing will give you a lot better loot. By combining all of this stuff together, we get what we get. We get 1 divine instantly, maybe we'll get like a little bit more from this map, and yeah, it's actually, in my experience with this setup, with milked maps, I'm getting like divine every few maps, just from the ground, and it's pretty crazy. I basically restarted my counter, and this is from like 50 or maybe 60 maps, maybe 70, something in these numbers. And as you can see, we got like 20 divines from the ground, we got 11 annulment orbs, like 10 perfect javeler, 600 exalted orbs. There was few perfect exalted orbs, by the way, so it's pretty good loot, let's call it like this. Okay, that's cool, but there's one little problem with this strategy. It's super luck based, and yeah, technically any drop you may find is luck based, but just by focusing on milked maps, you're actually missing on loads of other drops you may find. You can even adapt this strategy, by example, by removing a little bit of points over here, changing duplicated monster to the top part, so you just increasing number of rare monsters by 5% and investing in a pack size, for example. Remove a little bit of precursor tablets and invest into magic pack size over here. So if you're farming rituals, that's basically how you want to set up your atlas for rituals. It's like super good setup. It will work also if you're just focusing on breach, so just a lot more monsters will be a little bit more harder, and also they will be like a lot more of them because you're corrupting your waystones few times. But corruption is not always a good stuff. It's not always a good stuff, definitely. So that's where my third atlas setup comes into play, and that's my favorite one that I run right now. That's a basic setup. So we got all quantity rarity over here, everything we need. We invested in increased number of rare monsters over here, and we got a little bit of rogue exiles, we got increased power of precursor tablets. Also we got this unstable energies, which is just like best node in all passive skill tree in Atlas. Now we get a choice for 2 points, and it can be tablet effects over here for more juicing, or it can be number of rare monsters and 1 rare monsters is duplicated. So it's based on your preference, what you like more. Now we get 11 more points, and where we want to invest them? Well, it depends on what you are farming for. So this strategy is actually based on endgame currencies, which is Asmiri spirits and essences. If you want to juice maps with extra rarity from shrines, if you like strong boxes, you can actually like change nodes a little bit and even go over here and invest into strong boxes. So if you like this researcher strong boxes, it's also viable in this strategy. But it just feels a lot better if you just invest into Asmiri spirits or into essences. For example, right now I'm farming Asmiri spirits and I'm using this sector with Vivid Spirits. Vivid Spirits is very cool ones. For example, Sirius is Vivid Spirit and it will give you insane talisman that costs like 2000 exalted orbs, which is just crazy. Final setup will look like this. You will just invest into part of the tree with Asmiri spirits, and that's it. So you get like a lot more chances for finding those, encountering them, the better rarity, and so on and so on. So that's what I'm playing right now. Basically, I'm looking for Asmiri spirits, possessing monsters with them. They will have increased rarity of items dropped. That's like pretty cool stuff. So when you're playing Asmiri spirits, again, you're looking for irradiated tablets with chances to encounter Asmiri spirits, and also looking for this Asmiri spirit on your boss skill tree. Same goes for essences. So if you're looking for essences, you just allocate points over here, get into essences, and then you need to invest into this site over here. So you're getting more chances to have essences. Then you're looking for essences that cost some money. For example, essence of battle will cost a little bit. It's attack modifier, so we're going over here. If you're just farming for different essences for your build, then just pick whatever you like, and you will have more chances to find perfect essences, and most importantly, we will have chance to corrupt essence additional time when we're corrupting this. So that's essence setup. Now, how it looks like on a non-juiced map. Don't forget, you can juice maps, especially for essences or for Asmiri spirits, and you will find loads of them, and you will juice loads of them. But with this setup, we're getting good of both worlds. We're getting loads of rare monsters. They will give us more quantity of items. They will give us better rarity of items, but at the same time, we will find these essences all over the place. What's so good about essences that they will be shown right from the get-go, and they will be as a rare monster on the screen, so they count as rare monsters. So that's actually a cool part, because for example, if you're playing Asmiri spirits, you actually need to go and look for them, and maybe you will miss him. Same goes for strong boxes and for other content, but you can't miss essence on the map. That's pretty bad essence, just one, and you want to corrupt them all the time. So you're investing a little bit of Val orbs. You're corrupting, you're getting perfect essence and perfect essence of insulation. That's what we got. And that's because I forgot to change this stuff over here. So we get more essences on the boss maps. That's one of the reasons why Val orbs right now is valued 1-for-1 for exalted orbs. A lot of people actually trying to farm essences, and that's the strategy that requires you to have Val orbs in your pockets. So again, we're investing just basically one exalted orb into this essence, and we're doing this every time. You want to Val it, because Val may change outcome of what happens with this essence. It may change types of essences, so if there's like perfect essence of battle and you're actually looking for this, then definitely all the time, then probably not valid. But if it's infinite and mind, you don't need these essences, you just valid and you hope for the best. They actually can be like destroyed, so you will be forced to fight instantly. Then you will get different essences. As you can see right now, I get essence of ruin and insulation. So I just invested one Val orb and got essence that costs like 0.1 exalted orb. And it may look like essences are just too common and not needed. It's just a waste of time. But essences is actually like a great way to make a bank, because every now and then you will Val it and you will get corrupted essences, which is insanely rare stuff. There's only 4 of them. One of them is essence of hysteria that will cost around 1 divine orb right now. But of course you're looking for essence of horror. It's super high-end essence that gives you ability to craft very high-end gloves or boots. So this goes for around 3 divines. There is a chance to get Essence of Delirium or Essence of Insanity. They worth almost nothing, but still you will get a pretty high chance to get essences that people are using, like Essence of Haste that costs like 9 exalted orbs, or Essence of Battle that goes for 24. And all we do is sacrificing this node on Atlas, so we can get loads of essences or Asmiri spirits. Again, I'm right now farming Asmiri spirits. I think it's far more interesting mechanic. Here's the fun part: this dude just bought quarter stuff that costs 50 exalted orbs, because on paper it looks better. But in reality, this quarter stuff is almost the best one you can get. I just randomly dropped it for 50 exalted orbs, and I will leave link in the end of the video to explain you how DPS works. So if you don't know how to find the best weapons, definitely take a look at this video.